What's up, everyone? I think I just got started. Let me see. Yeah, I think I did. All right, so yeah, cool. My audio should be working. Yeah, so we're good there. I'm gonna put my earphones in. Yo, good evening, everyone. I'm assuming we have some people mostly in the States. Let me know. Let me know where everyone's joining in from. I think I'm mostly just getting East Coast people at this time. Kind of curious who's there. All right, here we go. I don't know who's been here for multiple streams, but I've been doing. Uh, oh, the only water J with the letters AY added. Okay, you've been growing. You're like, you've been adding amino acids to that chain. Um, let me. Yeah, I've been good, man. I've been good. And then we have, yeah, East Coast, Narin joining. All right. Research Park, Research Triangle Park. Sounds like a academic. Um, is that UNC? Wait, Durham? Wait, I forget where Duke. Where's Duke? Is Duke? Duke is Durham. I see. So Research Park must be a Duke neighborhood. Uh, oh, and UNC Chapel Hill are both there. I didn't know that. Okay. Maybe I should go visit North Carolina. I've never done that. Why would I go to North Carolina? You tell me why I should go to North Carolina. I might actually be more interested in um, like Mississippi and Alabama because I kind of right now on my mind these days I've just been thinking a lot about traveling to places where historical tragedies have played out, and I'm kind of yeah I'm gonna start with Japan and Korea, but yeah, going to places where historical tragedies have played out. I mean, is that a type of travel other people do? Like I do, I've kind of been moved by, for example, I've been very moved by the Vietnam War Museum in Ho Chi Minh City. Um, I thought it was very painful actually to be there, but I was moved when I was there, and then now that I'm in Kyoto right now, um, I'm kind of I'm thinking about the history between Korea and Japan a lot, and I want to see. So this is gonna sound crazy, but in the just before the Tokugawa shogunate, before the unification of Japan, or just after the unification of Japan, but before the Tokugawa shogunate in Japan, there was this guy. I forget his name. Toyotomi Hideyoshi, I think. Might be wrong. I think if I might be pronouncing his name wrong, or I might be like spelling it wrong in my head. But there was this guy the shogun, who had all these samurai just like left over, because they were all like the entire country was just like a country at war, and they were finally unified under him. But he had all these like warriors left over, and he didn't have anything to do with it. So he basically was like, all right, shoot for the moon. We're gonna go conquer China, and Korea was in the way. So he wanted to conquer, and Korea was not gonna. It was not gonna be um, like helpful in his ambitions to conquer China. So he decided to go and conquer Korea first. And in Kyoto, where I'm currently staying right now, um, there is a tomb slash mound, and what this mound is back in the day he wanted proof, he wanted the receipts that his samurai in Korea were actually killing the Koreans. So he said, bring back their noses. And so there is a mound of noses in Kyoto. It's very close to where I am. And I'm gonna go and travel to go see it. Now, obviously, the nose. This is like 400 years ago. Hang on, 1600. Yeah, so it's like 400 and like 30 years ago, 420 years ago. So I'm not gonna be. There's gonna be no live noses left over. No one's gonna be going there to actually look at noses. But it's basically a big mound, and I want to go and I want to see this place. This place that's like a memorial to the war. That it's still chilling here, and so that's been on my mind these days. Uh, Only Water J was new for me. How am I doing? In every way. What is bro yapping about? So I'm pretty well, I guess. Let me think about it. I mean, some of you have been watching me since like a year ago, right? So lots has changed. Lots have changed. Lots. A lot has changed. Lots have changed. Okay. A lot has changed. And let's see. Uh, I'm single first. So I broke up with my long-term girlfriend. So that was a big thing that happened earlier this year. It took me a while to recover. And then starting the summer, I got busy again. So I just focused on work. And then after summer, I've been I've been just getting back into the groove of things. It's been a little crazy, but connecting back with friends back in Korea, and then coming out to Japan, and then I was only supposed to be in Japan for 1 week with my brother. We were just traveling, but I kind of like quote unquote fell in love. Can't think of a better phrase. I was sort of I was sort of I was moved actually by some scenes of Kyoto, and I just felt really calm and inspired here. So I was like, you know what, I'm not gonna go back to Vietnam. I'm gonna just stay here. So I've been staying here for like a little less than a month. I've been in Japan for a little less than a month now. Yeah, about 3 weeks now. Yeah. So that's me spiritually, mentally. I mean, I guess the if I complain about my life in any way, I mean, I don't know, I'm kind of privileged, I guess. I don't make a lot of money, but I make enough money that I can kind of like travel and work. Um, but if I could complain, it's that I feel like I'm just not really focused on any one thing. I'm just like doing too many things at once. But I mean, honestly, in the whole scheme of things, like I'm happy with my life. Yeah, there's nothing to complain about. Um, and then and yeah, I mean, I don't know. I've been feeling very curious, and I've been getting into soccer. Uh, yeah, well, it's just that I am moved, uh, and falling in love is such an over. Okay, how can I say that without saying moved? I'm thinking about it. I'll come up with a phrase later. Yeah, but I've been good. I've been good. So, what's up with everyone today? And who's studying for the December SET? Who's studying for March? To not transport yourself. That's funny because you actually this is older English, but you can be transported by an experience. And I'm gonna switch over to this tab. Let's get this going. I guess move. You can actually replace that word, the M word, with a lot of words. I just said it. Damn it. All right. R, T are common. C is not super common, but it's sometimes I just kind of like doing it. I need a L and A and E here. L A E. Ooh, no. I already used my R. Do I play chess or Sudoku? Um, nah, I don't know, man. I don't really do. I don't really play games, these word games, except when I'm on stream and when there's like dead time. You know what I mean? So I do play Wordle every day. I don't know if you guys, if any of you guys are not in the server, in the Discord server. I'm pretty sure. I hope my link is not outdated. Let me just double check. Oh, that doesn't look like that. Looks like the recent list, recent link. Yeah, yeah, that works. Yeah, so in Discord, you know, some of us nerds are playing Wordle. I don't do Sudoku. Uh, that was a big deal when it came out. Um, I mean, I could go with Dales. I feel like Dale is a word, but I don't want to end with a S because it's never. Yeah, Dale is a veil. That's weird. How come? Like I like it's like a word I've never really. Yeah, I just remembered that it's a veil. Um, I was gonna go. I already used the T though. Wait, I just want to LAE. Why is this so hard? I could go with play. Um, all right, Gleam. G is not a com. G is kind of common. Oh, that's good. So M is pretty common. Wait, Glean is better. N is more common than M. Wow, I got like nothing, dude. What the? Okay, um, that's annoying. Uh, by the way, guys, you are allowed to ask me any questions that you have about the SAT or non-SAT things. I will be dropping in updates about what I'm going to be doing with the YouTube for the next day or two. So I'll be when I like I'm kind of using this time to think about what I'm going to do today and tomorrow morning. So I'll give you my thoughts as I go. Uh, so what are some combinations I have? I haven't used SH yet. Um so actually, I'm kind of annoyed that I didn't use the H, because with yeah, I mean this is a pretty good combination. You know, I get the H out of the way. I get the A. I try A in a new location. I try N in a pretty common location. Um, Actually, because this N in this location, I mean, there's not a lot of letters. I guess you could end with a P here. Um, yeah, I don't know if I want to do the N in this location, in this position. I mean, location is kind of a funny word for this. Yeah, I don't want to do N in this position. I don't think it's gonna be a very good. So let's try N over here. Snack, snatch, snap, snaw, snaw, snail, snake, snail, snake, snap, snaps, snappy. Uh, Nothing new for only water. Hang on. Hey, did you graduate? Like, what's up with you on the academic front? Uh, okay, I'm still stuck with this swank spank. Uh, all right, whatever. Let's just go for it. And I'm getting. Oh my God, no luck. Okay. Hmm. Yeah, I mean, I don't know about Spike. My channel. I mean, I don't know if you guys can tell. I don't really try that hard on YouTube. So my my channel is not like it hasn't really spiked. It's always just been kind of like steadily growing from just my streaming and my previous videos. And I actually don't want it to really spike. I don't want my life to suddenly change due to like a bunch of people harassing me with dumb questions like what is bra yapping about. Like I'm just, I don't want to deal with like spammers and just like little kids just trying to trigger me. You know what I mean? It's like kids on the internet are a plague. So I don't really want to. So I don't. I'm not too. I'm not like. Yeah, I don't see myself as a YouTuber. You know what I mean? So I. I mean, who knows? Maybe I'll change my mind, and I'm like, dude, this is the way. But right now, I'm not like emotionally and ready to be more than just like a very minor YouTuber. So um, so I'm just thinking, yeah, I'm kind of happy with this sort of like slow, steady growth. Panic, panic. I wasn't gonna go for double vowels, but maybe there is that. Maybe that I combination is gonna work with a lot of things. So if I do this right, there's panic doesn't work. Dan, mania works. Mania works. That would be annoying. The triple AIA. You know what I mean? Uh, we could do mania. That's a. But what are some other words that could fit in here? Because I want to finish this off in this fourth move. You're a senior now. You're gonna graduate in the summer. You believe? you're you're not sure. You've been really like what's it called? Uh, Dude, what's the term for when you get suddenly lazy in senior year? There's a term for this, right? Yeah, I mean, I guess it's a lot. I mean, it's gonna keep. I'm gonna expect it to grow exponentially just because of the of network effects. So I'm expecting it to grow, you know, uh, n to the 1.1 monthly pound. Like senioritis. Ah, dude, I forgot senioritis. Thank you. So I'm gonna expect it to keep growing. So right now I'm at 3,000. Maybe next time in 1 year I'll be at 6,000. In another year I'll be at like 12,000. I'm kind of expecting it to work like that, and I'll just kind of roll with the punches when that happens. I'm not here for the short term game though. I'm not here to just like make hella just spam my face through thumbnail games. That sounds just it's just annoying. I don't like my face that much. I'm not gonna like spam YouTube with my face. So we'll see. Maybe this all will taper off, and then I'll turn into like a monk. Who knows? A monk that plays soccer with children, and smashes their face in. Panic. Damn. We could start with the A. I'm not. I'm kind of drawn to mania right now. There's not a lot of consonant combinations that I see. I there's no H. Well, I saw there is an H still, but what can go with that H, right? The GH, WH, PH. Oh, I guess I got PH. I guess we could go with something. But then if we have a PH, that's not gonna fit before. What is fa? That's a Vietnamese last name. And then this, well, that doesn't work because the A is already used. The Aleph. Anybody? Borges? Anybody? Anybody with Arabic letters? Yeah, I mean I haven't been very active, but obviously with the nature. So it's a blessing and a curse in terms of YouTube growth. Thank you, Elevate, and welcome to the stream. Also, if you haven't, for whoever hasn't, I'm kind of expecting that everyone's from the States and you guys are probably all East Coast, but if you're not, let me know. Because I'm kind of curious who's tuning in at this time. And are you guys Americans or are you guys internationals? Like, where you guys at? Yeah, dude. Super, super glad to help. Going back to Amorphous though, yeah, I mean, like a lot of people when they think about, see, that's the thing. Like, I'm not a business first. Like, I don't know if any of you like read like Tim Ferriss or if you're active in like kind of business oriented Twitter. But there's a lot of like hucksters. I call them hucksters. But uh, like there's a lot of people who are just trying to like grow fast or make quick bucks, and I respect it. It's a skill. It's a skill. It's a legit skill if you can do it. Um, and it's a mentality and it's a personality that I think it's a special type of mentality and personality that I think you need to have to be like that and to not crack after a while. But I'm just not that kind of person, dude. I cannot. And so when I think about um, like YouTube growth, I don't really think about optimizing and analyzing and micro um, managing every little aspect of things to make it grow. I just want to be like, well, am I providing something that's good that isn't easy to find? And I'm like, okay, then I do it, And oh, am I doing it in a way where it doesn't feel like a overly huge sacrifice for me, where like I'm just like suffering for it? No, yeah, I'm not gonna suffer for this. I'm gonna do the amount that I can do, and the amount that I actually enjoy doing. And so and I think that's paying off because I am. I think I am. I think literally on the internet for a lot of the things that I'm talking about, I'm the first one to talk about it in a visible way. You might be able to find some like super niche blog hidden somewhere on Google, but Google sucks these days. I don't know if you guys know, but your generation you guys are going through the worst of Google. You used to be able to find things pretty well on Google. And now you can't really find these like niche little blogs written by these nerds, with like this like with like gold, with just like literal gold in terms of not literal, right? But like just amazing advice in terms of whatever topic there is, right? That's all kind of migrated over to Reddit, but Reddit is kind of shouty and everything just gets pushed down, and so you have to like save conversations later on. So it's a little harder with Reddit, but yeah, like these days, if you look at the internet ecosystem and all the tips that are being given about the SAT, I feel like I'm the first one to say a lot of the things that I'm saying. Let me know if I'm wrong, but it's just like, yeah, I think that's paying off. It means that when people find my videos, whether they find it in 2021 or 2022 or 2023, they're just finding value out of it. Plus, maybe they're subscribing because they want to chat with me on these live streams. I don't know. All right, I'm running out of ideas, so mania time. Here we go. 3, 2, 1. Ah, God damn it. All right. Annoyed. What's something that can go in between? So, Ian, Inda, Linda, Ninja. Oh my God! Don't be Ninja, please. Don't be Ninja. Oh God, it's gonna be Ninja. I mean, I guess you could start with an I, but then that would just make it I ain. Ah, oh, dude, it's Ninja. Don't be Ninja. That's such a stupid word. Don't do it. Don't do it. Don't do it. Don't be Ninja. You're the only word. No. Oh, come on. Binda, Minda, Pinda, in the uh in yeah in yeah. Oh, finna. I'm a fin. Uh, that would be really the Ginza is a district in Tokyo. Uh, that would be a crazy word. That looks very Chinese to me. Uh, oh, dude, is it ninja? That's so stupid. Imp. I got. Dude. Oh my god, so annoying. Okay, well, I did what I could. My luck was terrible. My skill was also bad. I wonder what. Hang on, I need to share this to my Discord. So this was, yeah, chord is solid. Clean was okay, solid. Uh, Glean would have been one of the. Oh yeah. Oh, Glean would have been one of the top. Yeah, sure. Isle is an interesting word. Maybe I should. Yeah, Isle is a great word. Maybe I should learn to put that into my sidle. Isle, alien. Alien is a word that I use all the time. But okay, then there's swank. This was considered bad, which makes sense. uh, sure. But what word? Handy, dinky, hinky, dacha. Ditzy. Man, those are some crazy words. That whisk. Okay. Mania was considered goodish, and then there's only ninja left. Dude, that sucks. Okay. Uh, so self-help books. Yeah, three videos. Unique. Oh yeah, thank you for confirming earlier. Yeah, what does working on music mean? What do I do when I'm depressed? Mm, I guess everyone gets well. So depressed is a lot of things, right? And there's a lot of like gradations. So I think the most important thing is not what's the term that what's that phrase that people use in medicine? You wanna you wanna have you wanna have a sort of strategy of like you wanna avoid getting depressed in the first place. You want to prevent it from happening, so preventive medicine, right? Rather than dealing with it after the fact, ideally. So how do you make sure you're not depressed? I mean, honestly, there's not a single answer. Um, but yeah, if I divide that conversation into two parts, it would be okay. Now that I am depressed, what do I need to do? When you're depressed, and I tutor a lot of students who and they're at different like uh, stages in their life, and sometimes some of them are depressed, and that's hard, like as someone who is paid to be there, right? And I'm not even paid to be there to deal with that depression. I'm paid to be there to teach or whatever. I still work through a lot of these issues with my students directly, because it gets in the way of their studies. Like they're just not growing very quickly, right? And so you can it's hard. It's like when you're depressed, like it doesn't matter how much you're supposed to do something. Like you're just not gonna grow that fast at it. It's just yeah, you're in a desert, and yeah, you can get a little bit of water. You can kind of grow a little bit. You're gonna get a lot of sun, not a lot of water, not a lot of nutrients. So you're just gonna grow really slow. And when I tutor kids, I don't want them to I don't want them to grow really slowly. It's very annoying. It's annoying even for me. Just like just like waiting for results to show up. So I do talk about it directly with my students, and um, high level, when you already are depressed, high level, I think the key thing is, I'm kind of riffing on this like in the morning, so my brain's a little slow. But the key thing is, when you're depressed, even things that used to be easy to you feel very hard. Okay? Things that used to be totally automatic, you never used to even think about it. They suddenly become painful to even imagine yourself doing. And like, and that could be as simple as like getting out of bed and brushing your teeth, stuff like that. Now, thankfully for you guys are students, so you have a schedule, so that's really not an option. But like, I've dealt with PhD students before who are like that, who just can't get out of bed, stuff like that. um and the important thing there is, um you will never get out of the loop of self blame if you keep comparing yourself to your non depressed self, and you ask, why can't I even get out of bed? And you start getting to this self blame cycle, right? You have to just accept, wow, I can't get out of bed. Or I can't, like, when I get home, I used to do my homework straight away, but instead, when I get home, I just want to quit. I just get lazy, quote unquote lazy, and I just end up on Instagram or YouTube, or on Snapchat or whatever, right? Um, and you should accept that that's what's happening. That the tasks that were easier, the habits that you previously had, and the tasks that were easier to you previously, right, are no longer a given. Once you accept that, then you can start tweaking the parameters and be like, well, what can I, in my depressed state, what can I do that makes me, how can I make it easier? Sorry, is what I meant to say. How can I make the things that I need to do like embarrassingly easy, that even my depressed self would be embarrassed not to be able to do it. So, for example, when you say something like, "Oh, I need to get like an A on this next assignment," that's gonna create a lot of stress. Okay, I need to get an A on this next assignment. But if you think, okay, this next assignment, uh, I need to open up the instructions. Yeah, I need to read the instructions. Uh, so I need to go and find the page and then open it and look at it, right? And that's what I'm going to do today when I get home. If you can identify a super easy task, okay, that is adjacent to the thing that you want to do, but it's like the easiest thing possible, um, then you can get started. Same thing with like exercising. Oh, I need to get rid of this belly fat. Okay, again, that would cause stress. You're gonna feel like you're not uh, you're not gonna want to do it. You're not gonna want to go to the gym and then go through all those like sets that you used to go through. But when you think something like, for example, I'm gonna walk outside the door, right? Then that's something that becomes really easy. You can just walk outside the door, and then if you walk outside the door, then you could do a walk around the neighborhood for like 5 minutes, or you can just come right back in, or you might even walk to the gym or whatever, right? Those are things that happen after the beginning. But just identifying a super easy task, like an insanely easy task, and just focusing on that part only, I think gives you the foothold to start getting yourself into motion. So again, when you are depressed, I think one of the big hurdles is this cognitive dissonance that you know that these tasks used to be automatic for you, habitual for you, easy for you in the past, but they no longer are because you're depressed. You don't want to do anything anymore, right? You have to stop comparing yourself with that past self and just accept the reality that that all of these things are now suddenly very difficult, that you no longer, and suddenly very unmotivating. And so then you just focus on the smallest, most actionable, embarrassingly easiest unit of action and just focus on that one only and just do maybe three of them per day. And eventually you'll start picking yourself back up step by step by step. Jason Smith must be popular, must have lots of friends. Amorphous. By the way, Saul, I'm a senior. How do you recommend you prep? Okay. SAT and AP. Honestly, dude, this is also advice that doesn't really get dropped. Guys, I'll tell you how I actually did it. Uh, I did not prep the SAT. I prepped the APs. And through my prep of the APs, oh, actually, I just realized not all of you know my scores. So I got 800 on reading and 800 on math. They used to have a separate writing section with that was also scored out of 800. I got 700 on it. To be honest, it's a little embarrassing, but that's because I didn't know. I never learned grammar, so I went into the SAT not quite cold. Okay, not quite cold because I'd taken the PSAT twice before, in my freshman year and sophomore year, I think, or the sophomore year and junior year, probably sophomore year and junior year, right? And then I took the SAT junior year, I think March, and then senior year, I think October, something like that. Okay, so I took the PSAT twice, I took the SAT twice, uh, and during that time, I just didn't study for the SAT. Not really. I'd probably taken less than five practice SATs. Okay, so Uh, I'm not saying this to brag because I'm saying this to set you up for a particular piece of advice that I don't think gets talked about very often. You do hear some versions of this though on Reddit though, and I think though just me saying it will sound and feel different though to you guys, which is if you study your ass off for the APs, okay? If you study your ass off for the APs, what happens is your your vocabulary in biology, in physics, in history, and also in older English, like English from like the 19th and 18th centuries. Okay, it starts going up. Your vocabulary just gets better and better and better. Okay, and during that time, if you're not just memorizing everything, you're not trying to brute force the history. You're actually trying to identify trends, cause and effect, right? And you're doing comparative analysis between different periods, different countries, right? Your brain, your logical reasoning gets better. You're able to compute faster, okay? And you're going through geometry, you're doing the proofs, and you're not just memorizing a bunch of steps to the proofs. Like literally, if I just like threw you into a room and I asked you, and if I could like wipe the memory of all the past what do you call it, formulas, right? Formulas. If I could wipe your memory of all the formulas and suddenly you went into a room, had to take a math test or a geometry test or whatever, and you didn't remember any of the formulas, and but you have prepared your math in such a way that you can actually regenerate those formulas based off of the basic axioms of math, right? You know how to like recreate those formulas in your head just from the basic ingredients of math. Dude, if you can do that for history, if you can do that for sciences, if you can do that for math, if you can do that just throughout, your logical reasoning is just going to be very, very powerful. Okay? So if you focus on just being academically top of the class, you're going to have just a lot of base strength stats to work with. Okay? Then when the actual SAT date is actually coming up, okay, is you're in your junior year, right? Uh, let's say you're taking like 4 AP tests. Okay. But then in sophomore year, maybe you already took 1 AP test. So that's 5 AP tests total, right? You're already kind of used to the grind of going through 3-hour tests. You've done it like 5 times before, plus all the practice AP tests that your school gives you throughout the year, right? So the test becomes less overwhelming because you get used to the test format, to the test constraints. You get used to the college board vibe, right? Of going into a room and waiting for the proctor, and sometimes the proctor is being incompetent, and sometimes the proctor is being a little inconsistent. You get used to all that. You get you're trained through all that. So then your base dexterity with in terms of just like test taking just goes up naturally. What did I do? I took 1 AP test my sophomore year. That was the most stressful thing my entire sophomore year, by the way, that AP US history. Um, oh, world history, sorry, world history. But I focused all my efforts on that. I don't want to say all. I did forensics, I did other things, but I focused a lot of my effort on that AP world history my sophomore year. Then I think I took 8 AP tests. Now this includes some easy ones. Actually, no, I don't think I did that many on my. No, because the easy ones that I did were all in senior year. I forget. I'll just say I did like maybe 5 AP tests my sophomore year. I forget. I'd have to go back and look at it. But like, I did maybe like 5 AP tests, and this is in May. In May of my junior year, right? I take those tests, and I think I took my SAT subject tests in June. Oh, I see. I took it in June, and then I took my final SAT test in October or something like that. Okay, and when I took it in October, I had already learned so much throughout my junior year that I didn't really have to study that much, and then I got my 800 on reading and my 800 on math. So again, my if I just summarize that as one sentence, how do you manage studying for SAT and AP together? Oh, you're a senior. Ah, dude, my bad. Okay, I'm gonna have to change the focus there. But going back to if you're a junior, how do you study for AP and SAT at the same time? I would say just focus on the APs and focus specifically on not using shortcuts. Okay, not brute forcing through memory, but on being able to do the logical transformations necessary to get better at that one particular skill, one particular field of knowledge. Okay, and if you can do that, you will be your base stats in strength and dexterity is what I'm saying will be really really high, and then it becomes fairly easy to knock it out of the park with the SAT later on. Now, if you are a senior, that's different. I would say. How do you focus on AP and SAT? I mean, dude, it's a matter of like it's hard because when you're a senior, your midterm GPA is going to matter. Yeah. So because you're gonna need to send that not midterm mid-year report to the schools to prove that you're actually keeping up your academic um, um, performance, right? But that's less important than the SAT itself, the SAT score itself, the official score that you're going to submit, right? The GPA is the last thing they will see. Your first semester GPA is the last thing they will see before they make a decision on your on their admissions decision for you, right? So uh, I would say the SAT is more important because it gives just that hard concrete fact, whereas the mid-year GPA report is like a little like after the initial application submission and just kind of proving that you're still on track. So I would probably prioritize the SAT more, but then depends. I mean, would you like if you're already at like 1550, right? Uh, like, is it worth taking your 1550 to a 1570 just to and like, but at the sacrifice or at the cost of dropping one of your grades from like an A to like a B minus? You know, maybe, maybe, it's a hard call. But how about if it's from an A to a C? Is that worth it? No, it's not worth it. It's definitely not worth it. That's embarrassing to have that C, um, in your mid-year report. So like 1550 to 1570, there's no reason to take a hit to your GPA just for that. But like, how much of a hit? And that becomes kind of gray area. There's no one answer. So I think it's not so much about how to balance. It's like what the balance is. Like, is your SAT so weak that with a relatively small amount of effort, you can make a big, significant improvement? Or is it already pretty optimized? You've already pushed your SAT to the limits, right? And your score is not going to improve that much more, even if you put 20 hours into it. Then those 20 hours, would you really want to spend that on the SAT? It's not really like how to balance, it's whether to balance in the first place. So you should ask yourself how important, like just take a quick assessment of all of your general academic profile and ask yourself, like, my SATs on a scale of 0 to 10, how important is it right now? My GPA on a scale of 0 to 10, how important is it right now? My extracurriculars on a scale of 0 to 10, how important is it right now? Just take a general sweep of your overall academic profile and just rate which ones feels the most important, how important each one feels, and then do a comparison after that. You can do it in like an Excel spreadsheet, but you can also just do it in like a sticky note. You can just do a quick, you can just jot it down really quickly and just get a sense of perspective on your own academic profile. There's no one answer for this because it becomes strategic about what you should be focusing on now. Six in your senior year, yeah. Yo, good luck, Amorphous. Uh, what books do I recommend to build vocab? I don't really recommend books. I think they all become kind of the same. They all sort of converge on the same 1,000 words. So you can honestly buy just any book. The book is not the important thing. Like, it doesn't matter how good the book is. There could be the most amazing book in the world. The most important thing is whether those words are even in your head. And so actually, like the most important thing you can do is just make your own vocab list. Make your own vocab list. Okay, the source of the words in your vocab list can come from a book, but should not only come from a book. It should come from your classes. It should come from your readings. It should even come from your conversations with me. If I drop a word that you've never heard before, you can ask me, how do I spell that word? I'll just type it out for you, and then you just put that into your list. You should be constantly absorbing vocabulary every moment of your life. It's not all going to come from one book, okay? And that kind of closed off thinking is going to stunt your vocab growth. So don't be lazy. Okay, we all want some book to solve our vocab for us. The book is not going to solve our vocab for us. Okay, it's our own vocab list that's going to like determine whether you're actually improving your vocabulary or not. Studying for APs increase your critical thinking, knowledge, and your, yeah, that's good. Yeah, that's what should be happening. That's definitely what should be happening. I'm gonna be here for 10 more minutes, by the way. So if you're kind of like on the fence, trying to decide whether to ask a question or not, you should probably ask now, not later, because I might not have the time to get to your question. So going back to this, you got an ad for a reason. Yes, that is normal. I've turned it on. I'm kind of curious. I'm kind of experimenting. I'm trying to figure out what to do with that with the ads. I didn't manually turn it on. Like, I didn't like trigger the ad at that moment. So if there's like some part of the conversation that I didn't that you missed and you want me to repeat it, I can repeat it. Okay. I'm not sure when you're getting the ads. Um, you want, yeah, I mean, YouTube wants money, but also like I turn the ads on. I mean, I'm gonna be honest about this. I turn the ads on, so the ads are turned on in my streams. Um, I turned it on this time. Like I started it yesterday, so yesterday was the first time that I had ads on my streams. I guess I'll just see what happens. I'm open to your honest feedback. I know no one likes ads. Um, I'm also debating whether to, partly because I don't really, yeah, I have a bunch of thoughts actually, but um, as opposed to ads, I am considering like a very cheap monthly subscription on my YouTube channel, like a couple bucks, like a coffee, uh, a super cheap monthly subscription where you get to talk with me on the live streams or whatever. But like this is, I don't know, it's the beginning. I've just come back to doing live streaming on YouTube, so I'm not trying to make too many obstacles just yet. Um, what university did I attend? Chicago. And is that normal? Wait, what? Oh no, I misread. And would I say it matters? Oh, it definitely matters. That's definitely matters. But that question. I mean, I don't think you mean does it matter? I don't think that's the question. The question is, does it matter so much that I need to suffer now? I think it's a more of a personal question that you're asking, right? Um, like I can tell you how a university matters. At my university, I made friends. Friends that I still stay in touch with to this day. Friends that I met, what now, 12 years ago? Wait on. Friends that I met 16 years ago, right? We all graduated together 12 years ago. Uh, we're still in touch. And, when I travel back to the States, I link up with them and, we hang out. Uh, at the university, I had very, very memorable experiences. For me, because of the person that I am, my experiences tend to be kind of like intellectual academic. Like I had several classes where like my whole way of thinking about the world has changed. Okay, that happened. I think I never actually wrote that blog. I really wanted to, but I had like three different classes that changed the way I thought about the world. You know, it was huge for me. Um, I had I was born in LA, but I was raised in Las Vegas, and Las Vegas is not culturally the most rich. Artistically, there's not a lot of history. Industrially, there's not a lot of history. It's just not that dynamic of a place. Um, as a consumer, yeah, there's plenty to do in Las Vegas. In terms of like the creation of civilization, Las Vegas is not really the mecca for that, right? So for me, culturally, going to Chicago and learning and just being connected to a city that has more of a heritage, right? With the good and the bad, by the way. So there's like the blues, but there's also the ex-slaves and the black community. There's the food culture and the immigrants, the various immigrant neighborhoods, but there's also the ghettoization of those neighborhoods. But like being able to be engaged with America more in a broader civilizational way, through the culture of that city, that was huge for me. There's also so many more bands there. There's so much more music there. There's so much more. There were so many more hipsters there. There were things that we could talk about that I couldn't really talk about with my friends back in high school. So yeah, it was really, really valuable for me. But do you need to suffer right now? And how much do you need to suffer for that experience? And why not? Why Chicago? Why not Northwestern? Why not? Why not? Why not Boston College? Why not? Why not? Why not Duke? Why not? Or why not UC? Why not UCLA? Right? Why couldn't you get the same thing at some other place? You probably could. Honestly, you probably could. It's not really the college. It's not really the college. We want, like, parents think about it as in terms of the college, but it's not really the college that determines your future. It's you who determines your future. So are you the kind of kid that if you went to Harvard, that whether you went to Harvard or whether you went to Hobart University, you would still be the same dope, like ass kicking motherfucker, right? Like if you're not, and you're kind of the weak-willed, spineless sort of force of society, where like if you luckily end up in Harvard, then you're gonna succeed, and if you unluckily end up in Hobart, you're gonna be fucked. Then, dude, the problem isn't the school. The problem is you. You know what I mean? You're the one who can't even make your own future, right? Like you can't, like you're hoping that your society will kind of, you're just going to be lifted with your society into success. And brother, if that's you, you got to work on some things, dude. That is, you're just like in the wrong position in the first place. So you got to be you we all learn from our parents that the university is this important, but the thing is that that's because the parents aren't really they intend to, they have good intentions for you, right? It's just that they don't, they've seen you since you were like a baby, right? So they don't really think about your, most parents, especially Asian parents, or immigrant parents, but they don't really think so much about your agency, your ability to effectuate certain results in your own life. They're just thinking about, okay, become a doctor, right, and you'll be safe, and I don't have to worry about you anymore, stuff like that. They're not really thinking about you, and the fact that you can influence the reality around you to make it work. Right? They're not really thinking about that, because again, they saw you when you couldn't even tie your own shoelaces. So yeah, don't just let your parents' view of you dictate what's important, what's not, right? You have to start coming up with your own hypotheses about how life works. So then, going back to the ranking of the university, I mean, it matters. It matters. But, it's like, are you the kind of person where if your school is ranked 14 rather than 4, your life is screwed? I mean, dude, that's a problem with, not with the school. That's a problem with you. You know what I mean? You should never be the person, like like you should never accept yourself as a person whose life outcomes are dependent on a number, right? That should never happen. So I think, just to, long story short, the answer is no. I don't think it matters. Life hacks, do or don't? Life hacks. Last question. Life hacks. I'm not gonna be able to give a full answer to this just because I'm feeling kind of, I don't know. I think I might have had too much coffee. I feel a little like dumb right now, but let me think with general life hacks. It's too broad, honestly. So I'd rather want to. I kind of wish I could just ask you what's going on with your life, but um, if I were a student in 2023, if I were a high school student in 2023, I would want to talk with my parents about the internet. Okay, and I would want, because now I don't know, because I am not a high school student in 2023. I'm a grown ass adult in 2023, so I don't know what the day to day actually looks like. But I would want to use my parents as a resource for me to help me mitigate the worst of me, okay, and help me sort of cultivate the best of me. And what do I mean by that? The worst of me is that as a high school student, I don't have a lot of self-regulation. I'm gonna be easily addicted to things. I'm gonna get super absorbed and just like waste a lot of time on things that are totally useless for me, right? That I regret after the fact, right? And then the best of me is gonna be like, when I do get excited about something, that I become super creative about it. I become super ambitious about it. I become like really, really energized about it. So I would negotiate specific habits and routines with my parents so that they can kind of help me, again, mitigate the worst of me and cultivate the best of me. An example of this would be, Maybe I didn't grow up with parents who could actually pick me up from school. I had to just walk back and forth from school and house, school and the home, because of our financial situation. But like if my parents can pick me up, right, then I would ask to get picked up, um, um, and like oh, dude, I mean, there's so many things like you could do. Like, there's the pickup, there's the phone, there's so many things. But like, I guess I'll just commit to this one example. So, one thing I would do is, I would want my parents and me to talk about my little wins, okay, and my fails and my lessons learned from that day. So I would want because you're not really going to be able to talk about this with your friends on a daily basis. It's kind of weird. But like with parents, I feel like they'd be supportive, right? What were my wins today? What were my fails today? And what can I learn from this for tomorrow, right? And have that kind of like habit of conversation with my parents. Um, and then the besides that, there's some other things like just internet regulation, because I do know that, the internet can be very, very powerful in a very bad way. So like figuring out how to negotiate those boundaries, like for example, when I get home, I could put the phone in a particular dedicated location, right? And I kind of have to like have rules around using the phone, like so that I don't go straight to my phone, but instead I have to use my laptop. But the laptop is less addictive than a phone, so I can use a laptop to do like my homework, my googling, my searching or whatever. But if I want to get back to the phone, then it has to be after dinner or has to be after my homework is done or whatever, right? So we create some rules around that, and I'll probably do stuff like that. And then I mean, it also comes down to things like waking up on time, you know, um, getting their help for stuff like that. I don't know. I mean, there's so many things that you could do. It's hard for me to think of a couple life hacks. It's like there's so many problems that everyone has different problems. So it's like the hacks really depends on what your problem is. Like, is your problem waking up on time? Is your problem like you're using too much social media? Is your problem that you just hate studying? Like there's so many different problems that are out there. So it depends on you. So. Um, I would just say, yeah. But I would say at a higher, sort of first principles level, right? You are a human being. There are good parts of you and there are bad parts of you. There's the best of you. There's the worst of you. Cultivate the best of you. Mitigate the worst of you. How do you do that? You can use your parents. You can use the technology. You can use your environment. You can use your resources. You can whatever, right? Figure it out. Like figure it out. You can't figure it out in one day. It's something you have to keep experimenting with and tweaking until it works, okay? But figure it out. Yeah, I mean, yeah, uh, yeah, authoritarian parents, a lot of times it's because that's the only let's ninja our way out of this. If your parents see things and their from their perspective, their decision is to either be authoritarian or to be totally negligent as parents. And those for them, okay, for them, that those are the only two options they see, then of course they're not, they think out of love for you, well, they're not going to be totally negligent as parents. So they're going to be super involved, right? And they're going to tell you what not to do and what to do, all right? Well, the question isn't the question isn't should they then be totally negligent of you, right? The question is, what is a third option that could exist that they don't see that makes them feel that they can still trust you and they can still see the results long term that are good for you and I guess mollifying for them. Okay. And I'm not saying it's easy because as a kid, I didn't do this. I wasn't able to do this. I wasn't able to even think about it like this. Okay. But now with the perspective that I do have, I would say if you can if you can give them a counter offer that it's not just those two options, that there is a third option, and if they take you up on this third option, right, you can kind of negotiate. Well, you will still get the grades, okay? The end results will still be better, but also the way of getting there, I'm gonna be more in charge of that. Um, uh, yeah, not easy, but think about it. Gotta go. I am. I'm pretty. Yeah, I'm pretty tired actually. That was a lot of talking. That was a lot of thinking. So, guys, uh, I'm gonna come back at the same time tomorrow. This whole week, I'm gonna just keep trying this time slot and see what happens. See if people are pretty active um, at this time slot rather than some other time slot. If you prefer some other time slot, please drop your preferred time slot in the chat or the comments afterwards. Also, let me know what time zone you are in. Like, where are you in the world? Because it helps me to know if I'm mostly speaking to Americans or mostly speaking to internationals or whatever, right? Like, it helps me to get a sense of where I can be most present. Yeah, let me know what time slots you prefer. There's maybe two other things that I want to announce. The other thing is that I just read. Faulkner's A Rose for Emily. I read it for a stream like 2 nights ago, and I had a lot of fun. It's been a while since I've done a live reaction reading. And if you have, for your English classes, or it doesn't even have to be English, I'm kind of open to non English texts, but if you have something you have to read, okay, and it's considered kind of a classic or considered okay, forget all these conditions. If you just have something to read and you want me to read it, okay, let me know because there's a non-zero chance that I will actually read it in the next week. The Rose for Emily story that I read like 2 nights ago, that was because 5 nights ago or 6 nights ago, somebody requested it on YouTube. So then I said, okay, I'll read it. And that's why I read it 2 nights ago. Okay, so again, if you have something you want me to read, I will do so. And so drop. Well, I may not read yours in particular, but there's a chance. So please drop that in the comments. Last thing is, right. And if you haven't joined the Discord server, join the Discord server. We're probably gonna go through an overhaul in the next couple months. Just gonna restructure it. So if you have ideas for improving the Discord server, just let me know. Okay, that's it for me today. Thanks for chilling with me. Peace out, guys. And until next time, keep on learning, keep on growing. Bye.